I'm so thankful to be here and to be moving together. We're going to start, unlike we usually do, which usually I'm always talking about sitting upright with an untucked pelvis where you bring the top of your pelvis over the bottom of your pelvis. But today you're going to let your hips sink back a little as you lean back into your chair. So let yourself kind of lean back. Your hips can be a little bit forward even as you lean back. Because then we're just going to bring one knee in at a time as we start to tune into our breath. And if your hand doesn't reach, then you're just lifting one leg off the floor. And a couple things to notice here as you lift the leg. Does it tend to veer into one side or the other? Keeping your knee in line with the top of your pelvis, those bones that stick out the top front, those ASIS bones that teach us a lot about our body. So you want to get familiar with where they are. They teach you where hip distance is with your feet. Just start to tune into your breath here as you hug one knee in at a time. Start to observe how your body is feeling today. And if there's a purpose that you'd like to set, whatever it is that you want to focus on for your practice of life, what do you want to be more aware of? Remind yourself of that now. And then next time your right leg comes in, keep it in, and you can hug it in as close as you feel comfortable. Just open it out to the right a little bit and across the body to the left. And I actually realize I'm on the wrong side. So if you're with your right knee, take it across and across the other direction. And just take your time. Feel that the bone of your thigh moving side to side. Feel how that interacts with your hip muscles. Feel how it changes how you feel the muscles depending on the position of the bones. So the position of the bones always determines what muscles we're using and what muscles we're not using. All right, let's switch. So put that foot down, bring your left knee in, pelvis can be relaxed, tucked under, and then move that leg side to side, nice and slowly. Feel the transition. When you open your thigh, do you feel it a lot in your inner thigh, or in this position when you bring your leg across, do you feel more in your outer thigh, hip, IT band area? Couple more side to side on this leg. All right, and then put that foot down. Now we'll rotate our pelvis into neutral. Remember, if your pelvis keeps sinking back or it's hard to get those top two bones over the bottom, get your hips higher. Getting your hips higher will help. Extend both of your legs straight, heels down, toes up in the air, flexing your ankles. Bring your arms to your side with your elbow pits, the soft front part of your elbow, facing forward, and then we'll pull back and relax forward. And we'll just get into an arm swing here, keeping your elbow pits and palms forward. So you're not lifting your arms so much in front of you, it's more just pulling back and letting them relax forward into a swinging motion. And then as we're going to move our neck around a little bit, you might want to slow down the swing of the arms, but we're going to keep this constant swinging motion. So very gently pause your arms, drop your chin down to your chest, and then continue to gently swing your arms. Front ribs relaxing down and back. So pure shoulder motion. And then how about pausing your arms again, lifting your head up and turning and looking over your right shoulder, and then keep that twist of your neck and gently swing your arms. Notice if you're clenching anywhere around your shoulders. Try to relax through your mind. And then pause your arms wherever they may be and turn your neck and look over your left shoulder, and then continue to swing your arms there. And just feel how when you change the position of your head, it might slightly feel a difference in how you feel the stretch of the swing around your chest, around your shoulders, around your upper back. Really pull back through your upper arms, and then pause your arms again as you bring your head back to center and drop your right ear to your right shoulder, and then continue with that swinging motion. Notice as your right ear goes to your right shoulder, do you tend to turn your face down to the floor? Turn your head so you're looking straight ahead. And of course, especially in this position, if you feel extra tension along your neck or your shoulder, maybe go a little bit slower with your arm swinging. And then pause your arms, lift your head up, and drop your left ear to your left shoulder, chin back. ear dropping straight over towards your shoulder instead of your head kind of nodding forward or back. And gentle arm swing here. Sometimes it feels good to slow it down. Sometimes you can feel sensation in your hands, in your forearms, in your arms, anywhere in the chain from your fingers up to your neck. All right, and then bring your head up nice and slowly. Bend your knees, sitting up tall in the pelvis. Walk your feet nice and wide with the outer edges of your feet straight and your thighs opening away from each other. Bring your hands forward, palms face up. Think of as your pelvis comes forward, your ribs are going down and back in the opposite direction. And then just open and close your arms by your sides. And as you open, the tendency for the arms is for the palms to slightly turn forward. So actually try to rotate your arm bones so the palms turn behind you as you open. And breathe here. Feel your upper back and chest get wide. So as you open your arms, if you pull your arms back, you'll be squeezing your shoulder blades. So you'll be shortening the muscles, for lack of a better word, shortening the muscles on your upper back while you open your chest. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach our arms out to the side in the place where you feel both your upper back and your chest get wider at the same time. Reach out. Feel that length. Coming together with your pinky fingers, low chest level, and then reaching out, checking with your inner thighs. Are they collapsing in towards each other, opening them a little bit wider? And then next time you reach out, turn your palms down, extend your wrists so your fingers point up towards the ceiling, and then reach out through your upper arms here. And as you reach out through your upper arms, once again, drop your chin down to your chest. Check, is your pelvis upright? Are your ribs relaxed down? You're dropping your head down. Roll your chin a little bit over to one side and a little bit over to the other. Keep extending the wrists, pointing the fingers up. You might feel a good stretch in the hands, the fingers, the forearms. Try to stretch your fingers straight. Breathing as your neck rolls side to side. All right, and then bring your chin back to center, lift your head up, relax your wrists, flip your palms up. Keep your right arm open to the right. You can relax your left hand down and turn your chest over to the left. But as you turn your chest, it's common that we slightly push our ribs forward. So ribs drop down and resist your right arm back out to the right. So you're subtly pulling either on your bicep or your chest muscles. All right, bring your chest back to center, switch, extend your left arm out, palm up. Keep your left arm resisting out to the left as you turn your chest through your belly button over to the right. The big thing here is if there's tension in the shoulders, the chest will want to lift up. So you're dropping your breastbone down and back as you resist your arm out to the left. All right, let's come back to the right arm. Reach your right arm out. This time bend your elbow so it's at a 90-degree angle like a cactus arm. And same thing, pelvis upright, ribs drop down. Turn your chest over to the left as you resist your elbow, like you're gently pulling your elbow back in the opposite direction. And breathing. And then switch arms. Your left arm out, 90-degree angle, pelvis upright, ribs relax down. Turn your chest over to the left and to the right, and resist your left elbow back as you turn your chest. All right, let your chest come back, let your arm come down, your feet are wide, let your thighs gently roll in towards each other, and then open up away from each other. And you're rolling at first from the inner edge to the outer edge of your foot. And then now, let's keep the soles of our feet down, and it's going to be a smaller motion. Let your thighs drop in and roll out without the soles of your feet coming up. So you're creating a little bit more resistance in your muscles just by not letting yourself roll to the inner and outer edges of your feet. And it's okay if this motion is really small. Next time you open your thighs up, bring your elbows and your hands as close as they'll come. If they don't touch, or if you find they're popping apart quite a bit while we do this, stick a block or a towel between your arms and hold on to it. And then keeping your elbows and hands together, draw a circle in the air with your elbows without your chest lifting up. It's just like you're drawing a circle with your elbows. If you had a crayon between your hands, you're trying to draw a circle on that piece of paper in front of you. And then pause and circle in the other direction. All right, come back to center. Walk your feet in a little bit closer, just a little step closer. And from here, roll to the knees together, feet apart, letting yourself go from the inner and outer edge of your foot. If you feel any pressure in your knees, and you can give your hands a break if they're tired of being in this position, but if you feel any pressure in your knees, then either you might want to scoot your feet a little closer to you or a little bit farther away from you. Now we'll do the same thing here. You'll keep your feet grounded and roll your thighs in and out without the inner and outer edge of your foot coming up. So much smaller motion, a little bit more work for the hip muscles. All right, next time your thighs are open, your arms are in front of you, elbows and hands come back together, little lifts up and down here. Little lifts up and down. Breathing without the chest lifting up. It's a small motion, working into tension all in the upper back. So I completely understand if between rounds with the arms, you want to put your hands down, you work on endurance slowly. All right, so stop. Now's your chance to put your arms down. Walk your feet in a little closer, not quite hip distance apart. And again, roll from the inner to the outer edge of your feet. Thighs going in and out. Sometimes it's surprising how much you can feel the work in the hips with this simple little movement. And now keep the feet steady and let the thighs roll in and out without the feet rolling up very much, if at all. Okay, next time the thighs open, come back to forearms and hands together. Turn your palms to face you like you're reading a book. Try to keep your elbows touching and separate your forearms. Open and close your forearms. Keep letting your breath flow, getting into all these little creases and crevices around your shoulder girdle. Okay, last action. Again, give your arms a rest. Just let them hang down. Walk your feet in hip distance apart and roll from the inner to the outer edge of the foot. Gentle, slow. If you start to feel pulling in the knee, make the motion a little bit smaller. Make the motion a little bit slower. All right, keep your feet steady. Roll your thighs in and out without really rolling to the outer inner edge of your foot. Of course, the foot might roll a little bit, but you're trying to keep it more steady. And you'll see that the more steady your foot is, the less your inner thighs will open, and that's okay. We're creating our own resistance. All right, next time your thighs are open, last set like this, elbows and hands together. Let's do another set of circles. Feeling your upper back, feeling your shoulder muscles on your upper back. And it can be a really small circle to a larger circle. Pause and circle in the other direction, letting your breath flow. All right, and then release your arms, open them out to the side, spread out through all your fingers, and then from there, let your arms come down. Okay, we're gonna spin around into our first lunge, so spin around to your right. Slide your leg back so your knee is right underneath your hip or even a little bit behind it. If it's comfortable, tuck your back toes under. It's okay if you're wearing shoes here. First, let's just take a nice side bend. So flip your outside palm out away from you and go up and over, bending gently towards the back of the chair. Take a breath here. And then bring that hand down and do a gentle twist of your belly button towards the back of your chair. Try to really feel the waist turn. That knee is dropping and relaxing to the floor. Okay, unwind the twist. And then from this lunge, if this becomes uncomfortable, then just stay in the lunge. If the back of your leg cramps, slide it forward and stretch it out and rub out the back of your leg a little. But otherwise, with that knee back under your hip, how about micro lifting your back foot up off the floor? Great way to get some engagement in the buttocks muscles in the back of the leg. You want to be conscious though, if your knee is pushing forward, you're using more of the front of the hip. Remember, the position of the bones determines what muscles we use and don't use. So try to keep the thigh back. Or maybe you notice that your body strongly wants to bring your thigh bone forward, so you're used to using more of the front of the leg muscles rather than the back of the leg muscles. And then next time you lower your toes, slide that leg forward and let's spin around to the other side. So knee slides back right underneath the hip, front ribs relax down, take that outside arm up and over into a gentle side bend. Take a breath here. Feel from your fingers all the way down to your knee. And then bring that hand down and twist from the belly button towards the back of the chair. Check in with how your thigh stretch feels from your lunge. And then unwind your twist. And again, you can slide that leg forward to stretch it out. But how about micro lifts of your toes up off the floor? And try not to let that thigh bone go forward. This is sometimes where a mirror comes in handy because you don't realize as you lift your leg, your knee is going forward. Feel the back of the leg engage. Eventually you might feel the front of the hip stretch out. And just at your own pace. Maybe just you do a few, and maybe you do a few more. Listen to where your body is today. All right, slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. So you're going to keep your knees hip distance to start. Walk your right leg a little bit out to the right and turn your right toes a little bit out to the right. And then you're just going to extend your leg out to the right and bend your knee in, but your toes are turning to the right. Your left foot is still pointing forward. Extend and bend. Extend gently, try to go slow, and bend. Extend and bend. Now extend that leg out to the right a little bit, and how about with the foot out to the right? Point and flex your ankle. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. Now keep that ankle flexed, your leg a little bit out to the right, and rotate forward from your pelvis. And as you come forward, try to relax those thigh muscles. You might feel a little bit more pulling in your inner thigh area. If you feel any pulling directly in the knee, that's a sign to back off, or perhaps the inner ankle. And then come on back up and step that foot in, and now your right leg going straight ahead. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend, bend. Every time you extend, you flex the ankle at all the angles. And then with your foot straight in line with your hip, point and flex. Point and flex. Point, flex, point, flex. Keep that flexion, rotate forward from the pelvis any amount. Try to really feel the rotation forward coming from your pelvis, not so much from your spine, just rounding forward. Can you relax any clenching? Maybe you can even lift your kneecap up and down. And then come on up, and now you're going to bend that leg and turn your right toes into the left a little bit. So you're turning in just a little bit, not forcing any pressure on the knee. So when you extend the leg, it's going out and veering in front of your left foot. And bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend, hold, leg going in front across the body. Point and flex. Point, flex. Two more like that with the ankle. And you might be feeling a little bit more action in your outer thigh, your outer buttocks, outer hip. Next time you flex, straight ahead, rotate your pelvis forward. Working our way all the way around. Relax any clenching in the front of the thigh. Come on up, let's switch legs. Start out with feet hip distance apart. Your left toes turn a little bit out to the left. Extend out to the left and bend. Extend, pelvis upright and bend. Extend and bend. Extend, hold, point, flex. 3 more like that with your ankle. Try to really point and really flex without being aggressive. Next time you flex, stay, rotate forward from your pelvis. Relax the front of the left thigh. And come on up, bend that knee straight ahead, extend, flexing the ankle and bend. Try to straighten the leg all the way when you extend. You're not keeping a soft micro bend. The leg is getting all the way straight and relaxing. And next time you extend, point and flex. Dynamic movement. Next time you flex, rotate forward from the pelvis. Any amount. Relax the lower belly. Notice if you tend to clench the lower belly. I just noticed I was gripping the front of my thigh, and as I leaned and put my hand on it, my knee slid down, my whole thigh muscle relaxed. So notice if that's your habit. And then come up, and now you're going to turn that foot just a little bit towards your right leg and extend across in front and bend. Extend, all the way straightening. Extend and bend. Extend, hold, point and flex a few times like that. Pay attention to how your foot feels when it touches the ground. Keep that flexion, rotate forward from the pelvis. A little bit goes a long way. Relax along the thighs. Are you feeling it along your outer thigh muscles at all, your outer hip? If not, that's okay, but know that you definitely are stretching that area. All right, and come on up, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, pelvis in neutral, ribs relaxed down, cactus arms out by your sides, elbows a little bit forward. We twist the belly to the right and twist the belly to the left. We're trying to feel right around our waist muscles as we go side to side. So it's not so much about turning at the ribs and the shoulders and the neck. Can you feel that little area right around your belly button turning no matter how tight it is? Try not to clench it. Try to let it relax as you turn from side to side. And then turn to the right. Hold the twist. Extend your arms out to the side. Rebend your elbows. Reach out, bend. Palm faces forward. Reach out and bend. Reach out and bend. Rotate your belly all the way to the left. Keep going and extend and bend. Keeping the twist. Extend and bend. A couple more times with the arms. And then rotate yourself back to forward. Extend your arms out. Relax your hands down. Okay, we're going to do the action of the number 4 stretch, which we do all the time. I recommend starting with a block, or if you have something that gets your foot a little higher, you can put it inside your right foot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lift your left foot up and rotate and try to put your foot on the block, but you're trying to do all this without sinking back in your pelvis. So as soon as you start to lift the leg up and rotate, the tension in the hip will pull the pelvis back. You're trying to keep your pelvis upright and see how much range of motion do you have to come in and out of this position, trying to keep your pelvis upright. So it's not just getting into the stretch, or it's not just staying into the stretch, it's actually what is happening as you're getting in and out of it. Let's switch legs. Put the block at any height. If that feels too high and that action is not happening, put the block on a lower height. So putting it inside your left foot and then keeping your pelvis upright as you lift and rotate. And let's say as you're doing this motion, you're just like, there's no way. As I go up, my hips are definitely going back. Well, then you would want to put the block on a lower height because you want to try to work with a neutral pelvis as much as you can. And let that thigh drop open to the side as you land. All right, let's go back to the other leg. And this time you can go ahead and bring it up there, or you can bring it up to your knee, but see, can you get it up to your knee just without using your hands? How much do you have to roll back? See how much I had to roll back to get my foot up? So for today, I'm going to stretch here, but you are welcome to put it up over your knee. Thigh drops open to the side, rotate your pelvis forward, hinge forward right between the center of your thighs. Relaxing around the thigh muscles, relaxing around the hip. And then come up nice and slowly, bring that foot down, put the block inside the left foot. And then from there, try to keep the pelvis upright. And again, you can keep going and put it over your knee, but just notice how much more effort that takes and how your pelvis has to come out of neutral. And then rotate forward any amount. And one side might be different than the other. Let that right thigh gently drop open. Check that your left ankle's right under your knee. Check that you're breathing and the breath is flowing. All right, and come on up and uncross, and then we'll slide that block back and we'll spin around to our right for another lunge. So sliding the knee back underneath your hip. So you have options here. Again, one option is always, especially if you're just like the work is not happening, sometimes it's challenging just for people to sit this way. So first of all, you can get your hips higher and try to sit this way. You can just stay here and breathe into it. Take some rib breaths. But our next option is we're gonna lift our foot up and hold it up and slowly move our lower leg a little bit side to side. And you're trying to keep your thigh bone back as you rotate your foot just from straight behind, a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left. So like going across towards the chair and away from the chair. And keep backing up your thigh bone as you move. You might notice as your lower leg goes in one direction, your thigh really wants to pop forward. All right, and then how about keeping your foot in by your chair, so you're holding with that angled lunge stretch, and you can just stay right there and feel it, or you can lean your torso back a little bit and feel where that stretch hits, maybe a little bit more of the inner thigh, inner groin area. And then come up, lift those toes up, take the foot from back behind you out to the side a little bit. Same thing, you can stay right here or lean back a little bit. But as always, come out if you feel really a lot of sensation in any joint. A lot of sensation in any joint is always a sign to back off. And then come forward with your torso, bring that leg straight behind your knee and bring it forward and spin around to the other side. So the knee slides back right under the hip. You're gonna stay here. Maybe you work on just lifting and lowering your toes, or maybe you work on keeping your toes barely lifted and moving your lower leg side to side. And as your leg moves side to side, it's your thigh bone rotating in the hip socket as you go side to side. Try to take your time. Takes a little bit of strength from the back of the leg to keep the foot lifted, so you can just work on the lifts at first, or even just staying in the lunge will create that strength over time. All right, next time you take your foot over closer to the chair, stay there. Just stay and put your foot down, or lean back a little bit with your torso without lifting your chest up. Ribs stay relaxed down. Breathing, feeling. Torso comes up, pick that foot up, take it back to center and then out to the other side. A little bit goes a long way. Maybe just staying upright, maybe leaning back a little bit. Let your breath be full and aware of it. Bring your torso back up, bring your leg foot back right behind your knee, slide that foot forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. From here, if your chair height is high enough behind, we're gonna hold on to 3 different heights. Start as high as you can. Hold on to the back of the chair pretty high. Think of your ribs dropping down as you bend your elbows and hug them towards each other. So if in any of these, if you feel your shoulder blades squeezing together quite a bit, that's a good indication that your ribs are not dropping down as much as they could. So let your ribs go down and back further and then try to squeeze your shoulders in. And my ribs went way back further when I did that myself. I wasn't expecting that. And your elbows might not go in all the way. That's okay. All right, slide your hands down. So maybe more middle back of the chair. Ribs drop down and back. It's okay for the shoulders to drop forward, and then just elbows bend and hug in towards each other. And where do we want to breathe? We want to breathe into our ribs, but sometimes taking a breath gently into your chest muscles here feels good. It stretches those muscles out a little bit. All right, come forward, and then how about holding on pretty low? So you're pretty low, holding onto the chair. Ribs drop down, shoulders go forward, elbows bend, and hug in towards each other. Breathing into the ribs. Inhale and exhale. All right, come on up in your pelvis, arms out to your side, palms up. We twist our belly to the right, twist our belly to the left, come back to center, right arm up and over, side bend, left arm up and over, side bend. Let's do that a few more times. Twist to the right, twist to the left, come back to center, right arm into a side bend, left arm into a side bend, back to center. Let's go to the left first. Twist to the left, twist to the right, back to center, left arm over side bend, and right arm over side bend. Arms back to center, check that pelvis is in neutral, twist to the left, twist to the right, ribs dropping down, back to center, left arm side bend, and then right arm side bend, and then arms come down. So first thing is try not to scoot your feet back. If you have to scoot them back, just be aware and try to scoot them back less. Try to put your ankles right under your knees. Next is watch the thighs. It's a big habit as people get up that those outer hips don't work as enough, and then those inner thighs pull in and do the work. So try to keep your knees open hip distance. As you come forward and press up, push back and come up really slow, trying to use less momentum. And then step back so you feel very secure that your chair is there, and sit your hips back and try to go down without falling. So eventually you'll get to a point and you'll be like, where is the chair? Just know that it's gonna be there. And as you put your hips down, check, did your feet scoot back behind your knees? Walk them forward a little bit. Hinge forward from the hips, push into your feet, lift your hips up, push your hips back and come up. And I know that I'm making this look pretty smooth, and if you're new to this, it's very challenging to do this without momentum of getting up and falling down. You just got to keep working on it. Practice is what makes progress. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, knees hip distance, come forward, come up very slowly, and then sit your hips back and go down very slowly. Now, if you've gotten pretty good, like your feet stay forward, your knees aren't collapsing in, really make sure the next piece of the puzzle is when you lean forward to come up, that's creating momentum to pull you forward. Lean forward a tiny little bit less, just a tiny little bit less, and you'll notice your legs have to work a lot more to get you up when your spine doesn't lean forward so much. Come around to the back of your chair. From the back of your chair, put your hands on your chair, or if your chair is low, put your hands on a kitchen counter, whatever you have around you, and walk back. 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. We're working on our neutral alignment, maybe rotating our thigh bones into neutral. Legs are very straight, lower belly's relaxing so tailbone can go up. Feel the length, pull the thigh bones back, feel the length of the entire back of the body. And then press through your backs of your legs to walk up to your chair. Now you can either walk around to the other side of your chair or flip your chair around to face you. And we're just gonna do a few rhomboid push-ups here. Now if you put your hands on your chair as wide as they'll go and your spine is nowhere close to flat, like your spine is rounded and you know your tailbone's under, can you get blocks or books or something to lift your hands higher so that you have more length through your spine? And then from here, with our hands as wide as they'll go on the chairs, we're gonna keep 2 straight arms and let your upper back sink down between your 2 straight arms, and then lift up through your armpits and feel your upper back lift up and get wide. Your rib cage lifting up, your breastbone lifting up. Now you want to decipher between the lower body and the upper body. So as your upper back widens, is your tailbone tucking under? Can you keep the belly relaxed and your tailbone up? Which is why it's so important to have your hands higher so you can make that distinction. I think that's the word I was looking for, distinction. And go up and down. If your spine doesn't sink down very much, resist the urge to bend your elbows. Just try to keep the arms straight and let your spine drop down any amount. You can check, are my feet straight? Are my ankles hip distance apart here? So piece by piece, you start paying attention to more things. At first, it's just the motion you're getting through. Great way to break up shoulder tension, upper back tension, chest tension, the start of breaking up tension around the neck. All right, from there, back your hips up, push down through your heels to come up. And then again, you can come back around to the back of your chair, which we're gonna do most of the rest of class, or you can turn your chair back around. And now, walk back with 2 straight arms and bend your knees and sit back here. Try not to let the knees go past the ankles. Push your hips back, your arms are straight, you're getting more length through your spine. Breathing here. Do those thighs collapse in? Watch, it's probably happening all the time. Do the feet turn out to the side? Probably happening all the time. So you're just making these micro adjustments to use your muscles in a different way. And then press on up through your heels to come on up to stand. And let's do a top of the foot stretch. So with your feet straight, ankles hip distance, feel free to hold onto your chair, put your hands on a wall. You're gonna push down through your outer right hip and you're just gonna barely bend your knee and you're just gonna tuck your toes under. You can always put a towel or a pillow under your toes, just your toes, and see how that feels. And then see if you can get a little further back and you can get above your toes. Breathing. Check in with your standing leg hip. Is it popping out to the side? Gently press down, hug that hip in. Pelvic lifting, which we worked on a little bit last week. Release that foot. Outer edges of feet, straight ankles, hip distance. Push down through the left hip. If it tends to pop out, hug it in. And then from there, how about tucking just your toes under? Just the toes of the foot. How about trying to go back a little further? So not only are you working on that pelvic lift, but as your weight forward in the front of your foot, can you back up your standing thigh bone so the weight's in the heel? And then start thinking about what you want to grab for your calf stretch. As we come out of there, I'm going to use a thin block. You can use a rolled up towel. You can use an extra rolled up mat. Go ahead and put that in front of you. Grab your strap or whatever you use for the strap. Put the ball of your right foot up, your heel down. Outer edges of feet straight. Maybe you keep your left foot where it is. Maybe you step your left foot forward a little. Find the place where you're just like, yeah, I can feel this across the back of my calf muscles. Hold onto your strap behind your back with your palms facing forward. Drop your front ribs down and back. Your head will likely come forward. You can just back it up or you can even let it be forward for now. And with your palms facing forward, lift your arms off your back any amount and lower them down. As you lift and lower, the tension in the shoulders will often pull your hands to face one direction or the other. Can you keep your hands facing forward and only lift back so much that the palms of your hands stay facing forward? Your thumbs stick straight out to the sides. And then how about next time you lift that strap, it can be anywhere from a little bit to a lot off your back. Keep your legs straight, rotate your pelvis into a half forward fold. Elbows hug in towards each other a little bit, backing your thigh bones up, and slowly come up and switch feet. So put the ball of the left foot up, the heel down, outer edges of feet straight. Maybe the right foot steps forward a little, maybe not. Feel that nice calf stretch. Ribs drop down and back, ears slide back, and then with palms face forward, we lift and lower without the ribs going forward. Breathing. Can you drop them down even back and back even more? Next time you lift the strap off your back, 2 straight legs, rotate your pelvis, back your hips up. Elbows hug in a little bit. Relax any clenching around the thighs, around the buttocks muscles. And then slowly come up and you can move that block out of the way or whatever you're using. Put your strap down and then with feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, we'll sit back into a chair pose and press up. So these are the same skills of when we're getting up and down out of a chair. Are our feet straight? Are our ankles hip distance apart? Are our thighs collapsing in? Are our knees going past our ankles? And once you master the lower body, then you start checking on the upper body. Do you thrust your ribs forward? Keeping your ribs down and back as you sit back will help you use more of your core muscles. Next time you sit your hips back, lean a little weight into your left leg. Try not to let that left hip pop out. And then step your right leg straight back into a lunge. We'll push into the heel of the front foot always, lift off the ball of the back foot to step back up into a chair pose. Now that same right leg is going to step back to the right a little bit. So it's like a wider version of a lunge. Center the ball of your foot, push up to come up, setting up into a chair pose. Now the right foot crosses behind the left leg, going across and behind. Push off the heel of the front foot, the ball of the back foot to come back, sit back. How about we do that again, all on the right leg? Step the right leg back. Press up to a chair pose. Step the right leg out to the right a little bit. Lift up to a chair pose. Step the right leg across behind and press up back to a chair pose. Now we switch sides. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back. Step your left leg straight back. Center the ball of the foot. Press back up into a chair pose. Step the left foot out to the left a little. Push off to come back to the chair pose. Step the left leg crossing behind. Try to land on the center of the ball of the foot. Press back up. One more time with the left leg. Straight behind us and press up. Out to the left a little and press up. Across behind and press up. And then from there, step your feet nice and wide. You can still be facing the back of your chair. Bring your hands in front of you, palms face forward, pinky fingers together. So it's this circle of the arms where your arms circle around, but when you get to the top, your pinky fingers still touch and your palms face behind you. So you go from palms facing forward, pinky fingers, to palms facing behind you, pinky fingers. But let's do it from a lunge. Not a lunge, a squat. Sit back into a wide squat, slide your shins back, pinky fingers on top, pinky fingers connect to the bottom. Circle around, circle around, circle, and circle, circle, and circle. All right, arms out to the side, stretch your legs straight, turn your toes out a little bit. We're gonna do 2, 3, and 4. So this is 2. Sit back into a squat, press up. Inner thighs open, sit down, press up. Turn your toes a little bit more out to the side. You're gonna go one more than this, so not all the way. Knees bend. Are your knees going past your ankles? If so, don't bend so much or take your stance a little wider. Press up. Sit down and press up. Take your feet out a little wider. Sit down in a squat. Press up. Sit down and press up. Now your feet are wide. Turn your feet to face forward. Walk your feet back with your arms straight. Push your hips back with wide legs. And then bring your torso up a little and just walk your feet in a little. So that was 4. This is 3, pushing our hips back. 2, feet come in a little closer, not quite hip distance apart yet, and push your hips back. And then come up with your torso and go to hip distance apart, outer edges of feet straight as you push your hips back. And then push down through the backs of the legs to come up to stand. Okay, feel free again to have your hand on a wall, hand on a chair. We're gonna march in place, but most of the time when you push down through one leg and you lift a leg in front of you, what happens is people tuck their pelvis under and their thigh bone goes forward. I want you to try to keep your standing thigh bone back and keep your buttocks sticking back as you lift your knee in front of you. In other words, it might not come up so high. Can you keep your thigh bone and your buttocks back as you lift a knee up? Every time, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through one leg. As you march, you're doing so without this happening. So the pelvis stays back as you go side to side. So very purposeful movement, not rushing. Push down through the outer hip and lift your knee in front of you without your buttocks sticking under. If anything, can you keep your buttocks sticking back a little? It's okay if your torso leans forward a little bit. All right, now, next time you lift your right knee up in front of you, keep pushing your buttocks back a little, take it across and out to the side. Across and out. Feel free to have your hand on the chair, especially if it keeps your weight back in your heel. Across and out to the side. Across, get it cracking and popping, go slower. Out to the side. Knee comes back to center, put the foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. As you push down through your right hip and lift your left knee, again, try not to tuck the buttocks under. Keep the thigh bone back. Knee goes out and across in front a little. Out to the side slowly, across in front. Out to the side a little, across in front. Out to the side a little, across in front. Good. Back to center. Put that knee down. Facing your chair, sit your hips back. Chair pose. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and sit your hips back. Keep sliding the shin back. Same thing as a chair pose. We're not letting our knee go forward, not letting our thigh collapse in. You can stay here, or how about crossing your right thigh all the way over your left thigh and pushing your hips back more. And then come up. Unwind your legs, feet straight, ankles hip distance. As you sit back into the chair pose, your left ankle crosses over. Sit your hips back. Backing your shin up, breathing, relaxing any clenching. How about staying here or crossing your left thigh all the way over your right and sliding your shins back more as you sit your hips back. All right, come on up. Unwind your legs. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Instead of sitting straight back into a chair pose, you can do it with me. You're going to gently and just a little bit sit back to the right, almost like you were going to sit down and someone moved your chair a little bit to the right. Come back up. A little goes a long way with this at first. You don't want to, these are sometimes muscles that go underused, so go slower at first. Sit over to the left. Come up. Sit over to the right. Press up through your feet. Over to the left. Keep sliding your shins back. Come up. Sit back to the right. Press up. Sit back to the left. Press up. Now we'll sit back center. Step your right foot wide out to the right. Find the center of the ball of your foot. Check, is your knee right over your front ankle? Is your left thigh collapsing in? Open it up. So we're just taking a moment here. Can you get a little bit more length through your back leg? And then you're going to pick that foot up and take it right across behind. And hug that hip in back towards you a little. So instead of that hip going way out to the side, bring it back in towards you a little bit. And then come back up there. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back into a chair pose. Step that left foot a little out to the left. Now for visual purposes, sometimes I might step mine out a little bit wider just so that you can see the action, but really anywhere from straight back to a little tiny bit farther over, you're getting a different angle. You don't need to always push, especially if you're just starting out with moving your body again. Ease your way into it. Now come forward, push down through that standing leg and take that leg and cross behind you. And then hug your right hip over to the left a little bit. Breathing. All right, and then push up to step up. Grab your strap, step your feet wide, reach your arms into the air, pull the strap taut between your two hands, palms facing forward. Back your hips up over your heels, side bend to the right. Keep the strap taut between your hands. Notice how my elbows or wrists want it to bend back. Can you keep your wrists pretty straight? And then bend over to the left. Come up, over to the right, strap taut between your hands, over to the left. Two more each side. To the right, to the left, hips back over the heels, one more each side. Breathing, feeling your body. Okay, arms stay in the air. Sit back into a squat. It's not your hips or knees moving. Your hips stay centered. Can you just turn your belly button to the right a little, to the left a little, to the right, to the left. Strap taut between your hands. Wrist straight. To the right, to the left. Check on your knees. Are they going forward? Slide them back. One more each side. Twist. And twist. Come back to center. Bring your hands down so your feet are still wide, and you might just be right behind your chair so you can put your hands on your chair. Sit back, wide squat, straight arms. Press up a little. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. This is 3. Sit back, straight arms. Press up. Walk your feet in. Not quite hip distance apart yet. Sit back. Press up, come up to feet hip distance apart, sit back, and press up. Excellent. Okay, Hands to the chair, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs, push your hips back. Put your right hand over on top of your left hand, and then push your hips back and over to the right a tiny bit. You can push your rib cage over to the right a little bit too. Come back to center with your torso. Hands go over to the left side of the chair, right hand and then left hand on top. So over to the opposite side, whichever side of hands your chair, whatever side of the chair your hands are on, you push your torso and your hips and your ribs in the opposite direction. So if you're on the right side of your chair, your hips and your torso go a little bit over to the left. And a little bit goes a long way, especially if you're a very mobile person. Get into the habit for you of going end range of motion. If you walk around, you have a little bit more stiffness in certain areas, you can go a little further as long as you don't feel it in your joints. Come back to center, unwind your hands, come on up. So, options. Option 1 is if your spine doesn't straighten when you put your hands on the chair, it might be nice to turn your chair around again. Or you can just work with your hands on the back of the chair so your spine stays nice and high. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, push down through your outer left hip, lift that right leg behind you, and you're just going to tap your toes down and lift. The whole time think of keeping your weight back in the heel of your left leg. Tap, or lift and tap. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. Okay, put that foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through your outer right hip. Stretch your left leg back. Back up the weight into the heel of your right leg. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. And then put that foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Hips push back a little. Stretch your right toes back. How about taking them a little out to the right? Keep paying attention to your left thigh bone. The weight will want to keep pulling you forward. Keep backing it up. Lift a little out to the right, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap, not too high, lift, tap. How about taking that right foot behind your left foot a little bit? Lift, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap. Bring that foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through your outer right hip. Step your left toes back. A little goes a long way. Out to the left. Back your weight up into the heel of the right leg. Lift, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap. Take that foot across behind your right foot a little. Back your hips up. 4 lifts and taps here. And put that foot down. Okay, double calf stretch. Either 2 blocks about the same width next to each other. Rolled up mat, rolled up towel works great. Whatever you're using, come up with the balls of both of your feet, heels down. Push your hips back. So let's say with all this bending forward that you find that it aggravates your lower back. That is very common at first. And it's something that you have to work through because your body is so used to using your lower back muscles instead of your larger thigh and hip muscles. The first thing is to make sure you're high enough that you can really untuck your pelvis. The next thing, if you were really like, I'm pretty good at that, my lower back's not rounding anymore, it has a lot to do with rib thrusting. So the second piece is make sure your ribs are curled in if you're sure you can keep this natural curve behind your waist. And then the next piece is you've just got to keep being persistent with stretching the backs of your legs more often throughout the day. You don't have to put your hands so low on a chair. Put them higher on a wall. Put them on a fireplace mantle. But the whole purpose is as you improve the range of motion in the backs of your legs and buttocks, your spine will start working less, especially once you've got your pelvis and your rib cage in neutral. All right, come on up. You can move those props to the side. Before we sit down, let's go ahead and do a chest stretch at the wall. So you're going to put your hand at your wall space, and if you don't have a wall by you, try to do this later. Put your fingers pointing straight up, and then with your feet straight, ankles hip distance, just turn your chest towards the center of the room. Ribs dropping down. And today we're just going to do this variation of it. Some days we turn our arm bones. Relax any clenching muscles around your hips and thighs, inner thighs, outer hips, buttocks muscles. And switch hand. Turn around, put your hand on the wall. My hand's a little bit in front just so you can see, but a little bit lower than your shoulder. And then arm is straight, so no bend in the elbow, ribs relax down, hips back over the heels, and turn your chest away from the wall. You might feel this predominantly in your bicep, the front of your arm. Over time, you might feel it in your chest. So the first step of this stretch is just getting your arms out to the side more often. We all need that. We spend so much time in modern culture with our arms in front of us. Just get your arms out to the side more often without overly pulling back or your ribs thrusting forward. This, using the wall, just gives a little bit more resistance as you turn your chest, but relax your outside arm. And then bring that arm down and you can have a seat on your chair. Gosh, I feel like these classes go so quick sometimes. All right, from your chair. I'm sorry, I said you could have a seat and I didn't mean that yet. So, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart is what we went up and down with when we started. How about we take our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart? And we sit back, and this time you don't have to sit all the way down. How about just feeling both of your thighs tap your chair and push your hips back to come up? And if it feels like too low of a squat, then put something on your chair. Put a pillow or a towel on your chair and try to go slower. And if it feels like you're just like, I'm getting good at this at the height of this chair, then you can start doing it with something a little lower. If you have a stool or something at home, you can start doing your squats a little bit lower. All right, how about just to mix up our muscle use, we step our feet all the way together, big toes touching, thighs together, and sit back. Same principles. Now your thighs are together, but you're trying not to let your knees go past your ankles. And just see, can you tap your chair and come back up? All right, last but not least, let's go back to hip distance apart and sit back slowly and have a seat all the way to your chair. And then come on up, sit up tall. So you've heard me talk many times about different ways to sit throughout the day. You know, first of all, if you notice your habits, I always sit with my legs together, or my toes tucked under, or one thigh crossed over the other, and come back to neutral more often. That's your first step. Feet straight, ankles under your knees, knees hip distance apart. But from there, then the sky's the limit. You can stretch your legs straight sometimes. You can bend your knees and walk your feet wide sometimes. If you always cross one leg over, do the other leg. You can do your ankle crossed over your knee. So vary the way you sit. Here's another variation. Now, if you only have one block, you can do it with your legs together, but you could sit with two blocks. I'm going to do them on the second highest height, and put your feet up on the blocks. And essentially, in some ways, this is like a squatty potty. If you've heard of a squatty potty when you're going to the bathroom, it helps you get into closer to a squat position, which is very good for our bodies over time. As long as you adapt slowly, very good for your ankles, very good for your knees, very good for your hips, very good for your pelvic floor. So you can start sitting, lifting your feet up. And then maybe you sit and you read a couple chapters of your book and you do this for a few weeks and you're like, hey, this is getting more comfortable for me. I'm sitting with an upright pelvis. Then you take your blocks or you get something a little higher and you put your feet a little higher and you've just stacked your knees a little bit higher and you sit like this. But while we're here, and if you only have one block, you can do it with your feet together in front of you. Let's take a few rib breaths. So we're sitting up here, relax your shoulders. You can put your hands, or if you have your strap, you can tie it around your rib cage. Wrap your hands around, focus more on the sides and the back of the ribs, anywhere from bra strap area to lower rib cage. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale away from your hands. Inhale into your hands. Exhale away from your hands. Squeeze those muscles in. Feel the shoulders relax. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 4. One more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you've had it with sitting like this, you can put your feet lower, you can put your feet on the ground, and just first of all work with neutral pelvis more. Take your hands and cross your right arm in front of your left arm, and then when we drop our ribs down, we're also bringing them back. What's happening with sitting in chairs and the shoes we wear is the back of our legs are so tense, they're always pushing us forward. The tension in the back of the legs also pushes us forward, which puts our weight in our feet, which bends our knees, which overuses our quads, which pulls on our pelvic floor. And I know that's a lot, but it's that tension pushing us forward that's having all these effects on our body. And it's the same thing with your upper body. It's kind of like the tension is always pushing your ribs forward, pushing your ribs up. So not only do you want your lower ribs to drop back and down, you want your upper spine, where your breastbone is, to kind of move straight back. And you feel your spine move back, and then that creates more space for circulation, for your muscles to perform. So crossing your right arm on top of your left arm, reach to the sides of your neck. You kind of have these two little areas that feel really good when you massage them. Put your hands on right at the base of your neck, and sorry if I'm getting my mic in this, but pull your hands down and kind of pull forward gently on those muscles. So you're spreading your mid back by dropping your ribs down and back, but you're spreading your upper back by gently pulling forward and feeling right between your shoulder blades, right at the base of your neck, get wider. Keep that little self-massage going, and then slowly turn your neck from right to left. And feel free to put a little pressure there with your hands, nothing aggressive. Like your spine is backing up without your pelvis tilting back. All right, how about switching? Switch the crossing of your arms. Hold on to that same area. Feel like you're spreading right at the base of your neck wide and pulling forward slightly. Your spine is moving back and you're creating space by widening those muscles. And now drop your ear a little bit from right to left. So sometimes it's hard to find that space and create that space in the upper back. So we're just doing it in a manual way. So good for the neck over time. So good for relieving stress. All right, bring your head back, release your arms. Let's stretch our arms out to the side. Again, you can take your feet down. I'm going to do that now. And arms open, pelvis upright, ribs relax down. Can you feel your spine moving back a little bit? Move the spine back. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands down. Stretch your legs long, heels down, toes up. Fold forward any amount. Keep flexing your ankles. Hands can come to your thighs, to your shins. Maybe you drop the back of your head down. Think of your pelvis tilting forward, but then your spine ever so slightly moving back in your body. And then slowly come up, rebend your knees, pelvis upright, ribs relax down, spine moves back. Part of that is when you ramp your skull back over your ears. Turn your belly to the right. Take a breath here into the sides of your ribs. Turn your belly to the left. Take a breath there. And great job. Unwind and sit back in your chair for final pose, Savasana. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body. Become very present with your breath. Let the outward distractions float by like clouds. Stay present with yourself. Feel your body and your breath. Keep these 5 keys to happiness always in your heart. Realize that happiness is a choice. You can make the decision to be happy each day. That's 1. 2, remember that happiness is contagious. Make someone smile, and the good feelings come right back to you. 3, be grateful for the little things in life that are free. Make a list and add to it each morning. 4, believe that ultimately everything happens for a reason. Acceptance leads the way to happiness. 5, give away some courage every day. When you encourage another to keep going, hang in there, or believe in your dreams, you will find an unending source of happiness. Bringing our hands together at heart center in gratitude for this day, in gratitude for all the things that we do that help build upon our happiness. Namaste.